Welcome to Pepper Shock Media's Marketing Expedition podcast, keeping you up to date with the latest in marketing and advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Ray and Drew Allen.
I'm Ray Allen, President and CEO of Pepper Shock Media, also a Chief Marketing Officer for Hire. And along with me is Drew Allen.
That's me. I'm the COO of Pepper Shock and the Creative Director.
And just if you are joining us for the first time, Pepper Shock is a marketing and advertising agency, video production, graphic design, web design, social media. We do all kinds of fun things for our clients. We're like an outsourced marketing department for some of our clients. To some, we might just do per project work, but we love our ongoing loyal clients. And so we get to talk about marketing expeditions now. The 7 reasons you need a marketing review. So when we're talking about this, it's in the terms of like an audit where kind of like a CPA is going to go into your books and audit your books, making sure everything's working right. Maybe there's some more efficiencies that could be done or done differently, or maybe some cost savings that could happen. So we're talking about reviewing your marketing and looking at the past to see how you've done and looking at what you're currently doing, and then looking into the future and making some recommendations of things that we might be able to help you do. So here are some of the reasons why we think you need a marketing review. Now, first of all, though, what really is a marketing audit or marketing review? It's a comprehensive top-to-bottom analysis of a company's marketing environment, strategies, objectives, and activities. And we think that conducting marketing audits at least once a year are recommended, but we might do it,
We might do it twice a year.
or maybe even quarterly.
It's just a good way to have a third party kind of take a look at what's going on and provide some suggestions and bring some fresh ideas.
And we feel like we're qualified to do this because we've been in business now for over 14 years and have had a lot of different companies and industries, and we're always doing our best to stay on the leading edge of the new techniques and ways to get your message out there to help build your brand and your bottom line. And so here are the 7 reasons. Drew?
Yes, I'll read that slide. Number 1, optimization. Number 2, testing. Number 3, accountability. Number 4, benefits. Number 5, opportunities. Number 6, targets. And number 7, enhance.
Okay, so optimization.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Optimization. So audits can help open the door to marketing optimization by investigating all of the internal factors and researching the external factors, and then providing an action plan to reach your maximum efficiency. So we want to get to the facts, and we want to make sure that we are going through the fundamentals of your marketing process. But by doing this can also help you plan for the future by optimizing everything that you're working on, kind of taking a look at what you should stop, start, and keep doing, really, and looking at the marketing plan and seeing if maybe there's something missing, or maybe you're spending a little too much money on a certain area that's really just not producing any results. Maybe you're not even tracking your results to know whether or not your marketing is at peak performance. And so we do that.
What's your phrase that you love to say?
Measure what you treasure, dump what you don't. Yeah,
Yep.
Exactly. And that's true. If we measure it, then we're more likely to treasure what we're doing because of the fact that it kind of elevates the importance of our efforts when we're measuring it, and we know what's working and what's not. And like one of our clients, we do a lot of A/B testing and a lot of different iterations of everything from what the color scheme is on their homepage to how we respond through emails, how we, how they can test, how their customers can test their software that they provide. We do so many different things with them to make sure that we're getting the best every time, all the time. And so constantly looking and reevaluating what's going to be better, what's going to be worse, what has worked. And if we can A/B test, and then, meaning like we test out 2 different messages through Facebook, for example, and we do a test with those messages and we see which one gets more click-throughs, then suddenly now we know that this messaging is better than the other one. So we dump out the other one. And now we are going to A/B test the one that was even better that first time. And then we're going to keep doing that and have different iterations every single time. And so by doing that, we can get to the maximum optimization of marketing performance. So that is really where optimization comes in, and looking at how the internal factors are affecting our efficiencies. Maybe there's some things that we can look at where you've got your internal marketing staff and maybe we're overlooking somebody's skill set. Maybe there's something that they could do to help enhance your performance. Maybe you've got somebody that's not quite as efficient in one area, but maybe could be way more efficient in another area. So we could even look at skill set. We can look at the data that we can analyze to understand what's happening, what's going on through if you're doing any AdWords or if you're doing Facebook. We can just really take a look at all of those different types of things and all the efforts that you're making, and maybe see if they're kind of needing some realignment with your company goals, and understanding what your company goals are overall, so that you can match in tandem your growth of the company with the marketing and efforts that you're doing, and making sure that everything is kind of working together at optimum efficiencies. So that's kind of what I mean by internal factors that are helping to affect your efficiency. Really just putting that microscope on your business and looking at, some successes and some failures, right?
Yeah.
We here at Pepper Shock, we try to make goals all the time. And what do we call them?
We call them SMART goals.
And what does that stand for?
It's an acronym. You might have to help me out. Specific, measurable, attainable, random? No.
No.
Realistic?
Realistic's good, yeah.
And time-based.
And you can make even smarter goals by saying ethical and recorded. So you can make your smarter goals.
So we write down SMART goals for ourselves, and then we ask that other people help hold us accountable for reaching those goals.
So we make an accountability partner for our goals, and we make sure that they are time specific and can be measurable. And we even include goals that may not necessarily relate to business, but we do this so that we can help our staff achieve their goals, because we work with marketing all the time, but we want to make sure that, our company culture, our communications internally, all these internal factors are in line with what our company goals are. And so looking at those things really are quite important. That way, when we have either failures or future successes, we can break those down a little bit and understand where those are coming from. And, maybe we need to realign our goals. And sometimes we do that. We look at our goals and make sure that they're still in line with what we want to accomplish. And then we can also look at kind of the approach of the efforts that are happening and determine how the successes are working. And again, kind of go over the what we need to stop, start, and keep doing. If it's working great, how can we make it better? How can we make it even better than what it was before? And looking at all of the different things about marketing, the 7 Ps: people, product, promotion, price, place, process, and physical environment. All of those things that we want to include to help optimize your marketing. And that's what we do. A little bit more about optimization and kind of looking at the external factors that can help sort of dictate the business optimization. So looking at your environment in the marketplace, looking at your competitive advantage and your customers, and really just your industry as a whole, and looking at all of those things that can have a factor on your marketing and what you're doing. And even looking at some of the uncontrollable forces that are going to kind of have an impact on your marketing efforts, because we want to know what we can plan for and try to work around if we have some uncontrollable factors that we need to basically look at. And in that way, we can be prepared for them and have some recommendations to work around whatever those external factors are that you really don't have a whole lot of control over. So the next one is all about, testing. So when we test, are looking at what our marketing plan is doing and looking at the objectives and the goals and the results, when we can further test and identify what it is that we want to maybe if there's some changes that we need to make, or maybe we can look at, through testing, we can make sure that we have any kinds of new ideas or inspirations that come out of it, because maybe it's bringing some new information to light that we didn't otherwise have before. And by going through the different iterations, we can prove positive to success through messaging, through images that we use, color schemes, how people are navigating and utilizing your website, to see if it's working on the different browsers that you're using, to see if it's responsive or, it has a responsive design. And then in tandem, taking these results and applying them to different aspects of what you're doing in your marketing. So something to keep in mind that through testing and understanding your data and how you want to prove positive. So what's at stake? 15 to 20% increase in ROI for companies that put data at the center of their marketing and sales decisions. So it's really important that we are looking at testing as a way to improve and enhance your overall marketing. So the next one is about accountability. Why have a third party conduct the review?
Well, a third party can act as an unbiased kind of facilitator, somebody that'll come in and review things. They haven't been involved, so they can look at it with a fresh set of eyes. It can increase how effective the review can be if you're not self-analyzing. I mean, obviously, a client would be involved with that process, but having a third party, it also frees up your time. That way you can keep doing your business while someone else is kind of putting a fresh perspective on things. There's kind of an increased accountability. It'll maximize the impact that it has once a full review is put together and there's a report of findings at the end. And
it also allows for us to be uninhibited with familiarity or habit. Just because somebody has always done it the same way for years doesn't always mean it's the right way to do it. And when you have a third party coming in to do the review, we have no idea what your habits or routines have ever been. So we might actually offer that fresh perspective because we might be able to give some other ideas to be more efficient at what you're doing. And then we also can be specialized in being able to identify new opportunities and new inspirations that might come as a result of analyzing and looking at the data that you have, offering another third-party unbiased opinion really to some recommendations of how we can make your marketing even more efficient than what it already is. Number 4, the benefits of having a marketing audit conducted. We can have evidence of a deep objective. There's iterative or repetitive learning, a clear understanding, and a renewed planning. And really what this does is that we can help generate this refreshed or renewed idea of how we can, if your plan is to grow more, or if it's to maintain, or maybe there's a new product or service that we can uncover. We have a client that we did a survey of their current clients and uncovered a whole completely new service that they now have implemented as a result of us doing this, and have made even additional amounts of revenue based on this new service that they've been able to provide, based on us really kind of digging deep into what their customers are doing. So if we get to go so far as to actually survey and do focus groups beyond just the review and then move into sort of the needs assessment phase of what we would do, I think that this really helps set the stage for being able to realize and recognize what your customers may or may not want or need. And by doing that, we've been able to increase just the awareness factor of listening to what the customers want. The other benefits of having a marketing audit conducted is that we can also look at the website and understand your ranking and look at review sites, look at some benchmarking, what's your website grade, what kind of leads are converting, what kind of content is helping you convert those leads, looking at your site speed, looking at your SEO and how that's performing. If there's maybe some things that we could recommend that might make it even better, then that's another kind of key benefit to having a review performed. And the other thing too is the opportunities. Marketing audits sort of remove the veil. We uncover the unknown, reveal new or neglected markets, discover the things that you thought you knew but maybe actually didn't. As the saying goes, hindsight's 20/20. But if we can help make it, where it's really uncovering some things that you maybe needed some new discoveries that we can help you make. That's where we want to do, like, especially with the neglected markets part. I think now our market in this world is changing so rapidly that the way we were doing things before is becoming obsolete so quickly now. And we always need to find ways to sort of make sure that we're leading edge in our industries and being the thought leaders in our industries. And so if there's ways that we can help you do that, that's one good benefit to having a marketing audit performed. Another thing too is reviewing your target audience, making sure that your aim of who you're targeting is actually the appropriate target audience that you should be going after, and the messaging, seeing if it's resonating with them and how you're communicating. And maybe we can fine tune and kind of refocus that communication to the target audience and uncovering a target that maybe we hadn't thought of before. And then being able to make sure that the messaging that we're doing with the audience is relevant.
Yeah, I think a lot of times during a marketing review, you might find that the way you've been communicating with your intended audience, they're not receiving that message well, or it's not relatable to them. It's not the way, you might be trying to market to baby boomers, but you're using millennial tactics. So it's just something. It's always good to kind of review. All right, who is it that we're talking to, and how are we talking to them? Are they getting the right message? Are we getting it to them in the right vehicle, the right manner? And because if you're not, you're just wasting time and money.
And some of the things that we've done with our clients is create an empathy map for our target. And what are they seeing? What are they hearing? What are they talking about? How are they consuming their information? And by doing the empathy map, we are really placing ourselves in the target audience shoes. And we've even gone so far as to name and create this persona of our target audience. And in one case, I think her name was Wendy, and she was a busy mom who had a career. I think she, was somewhat influential, made decent money, had some discretionary funds, those types of things. We look into what Wendy would do when she's, approaching this message, or how your brand is interacting with Wendy, for example. And by doing that, then now the conversation really kind of says, well, what would Wendy want? And how would Wendy want it? And how would we get that information to her? And I think that really helps us in targeting our audience. And maybe we set up a secondary and tertiary target audience. I mean, just different people that we want to target differently, even if it's the same product, but maybe there are several different targets that we could go after within that one segment. And we can empathize with all of those people and make messages that are relatable to them. Like Drew said, the baby boomer versus I'm an Xennial. I'm in between millennial and Gen X. So I'm an Xennial. But the message might resonate with me differently than, say, my sister, who is definitely a millennial. So anyway, there's just differences of how we could go about it. And so what we do with the review is we want to make sure that those messages are resonating well with those different audiences that we're wanting to target.
What would Wendy do?
What would Wendy do?
I think we need bracelets.
Yes, brand placement, right? And then number 7, a marketing audit opens the door to increasing effectiveness of your marketing strategies. And we want to build market share. We want to build your brand and, of course, build the bottom line. And ideally, if it's a revenue producing company, we want to help increase revenue. If it happens to be a nonprofit, we want to be able to build awareness, hopefully attract new philanthropic efforts, people who are giving money. So yeah, these are all things that can help with having a third party like us come in and just perform a marketing review and audit everything that you've got going on. And then as a result, we make recommendations based on our findings And then from there, we can always do a needs assessment and move through the process. And if you, need help with your marketing, we can augment your internal team in helping them do things that they may either not have time for or maybe not necessarily have the full capabilities to do. If it's like high-end motion graphics or design or things that we can do to attract the right message to the right people. So we do that with clients where we can help augment their internal team. And it really truly might just be that they don't have the time to get to it. And so they utilize us to be able to help them get the things done that they need. And really, it just makes it nice because then we can take our 10 people and then help make a marketing team who might just be like 1 or 2 people. And suddenly now they have a full-fledged marketing department by utilizing what we can do for them. And so that is why we want to help you in performing a marketing review and marketing audit. So if you are listening to this, we actually have a special offer on our website that will allow you to sign up for a marketing review. And we have it at a discounted rate. And we'll put the link in our show notes. But basically go to peppershock.com/marketing review and fill out the information there. And we can actually set up a time to talk to you and go through that process. And the idea is that we want to help you, and you get a little taste of working with PepperShock, and we do as well. And then if you want us to continue to do more, it might be a good fit for us to help you. And if not, that's okay. Now you at least have some good recommendations of things that you could do to help improve and, make your efficiency with your marketing a lot better.
So thanks for listening. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast for more new and exciting tips and tricks and marketing goodies, and follow us on all our social media channels. PepperShock is the handle on Instagram and Twitter, and you can find us on Facebook using the little search function.
I also want to encourage you to join us on the second Thursday of every month at noon Mountain Standard Time. I do the Marketing Expedition webinars as well, and we cover new marketing topics as much as we can every month. So you can grab your lunch and a laptop and join us at noon on Mountain Standard Time for the second Thursday of every month.
Well, we appreciate you listening, and if you have feedback, go ahead and send us a message or leave a comment below, and we'd appreciate the notes.
And if you have a topic that you'd like for us to explore and discover, then also let us know about that as well. Thanks for listening.
Adios.
Thanks for listening to the Marketing Expedition podcast. Find more online at peppershock.com.